Finn Balor, yes, Finn Balor is back on Friday Night SmackDown. Finn Balor returned tonight on Friday Night SmackDown from Houston, Texas in the Toyota Center. There was a segment on SmackDown tonight where Sami Zayn came out. He was complaining about not being involved in the Money in the Bank ladder match on Sunday, speaking about the conspiracy, the continued conspiracy that's against Sami Zayn. He was speaking openly about this and how the fans could help him, how the fans were going to be on his side, how the fans were going to help him get through this conspiracy. And then out comes Finn Balor. Finn Balor, former NXT champion. This is Balor's first appearance on the main roster since around August 2019, right? His final match on the main roster before going back to NXT was against The Fiend at SummerSlam in 2019 when The Fiend made his in-ring debut. So we're talking at this point nearly 2 years. Nearly 2 years off the main roster, 2 years back in NXT. Well, a bit less than 2 years because, of course, he made his NXT return in, when was that, around October time of 2019. But my point being here, it's been a long time. It's been a really long time since we've seen Finn Balor back on the main roster. Now, this was a story that was actually... It was actually broken earlier today. WrestleVotes posted out a tweet earlier today hinting at it. They didn't specifically say Finn Balor's going to be on SmackDown tonight, but they said that tonight's SmackDown would be too sweet and for everyone, and obviously it doesn't take a genius to figure out that that was going to be Finn Balor. Subsequently, as we got closer and closer to the show, it was officially reported that Finn Balor, not by WWE, but the relative sources, it was officially announced that Balor would be on SmackDown tonight, and he would indeed be returning to the Blue brand. So what does this mean? Well, obviously, I think it means he's going to be facing Sami Zayn in a feud going forward. Does the match happen at Money in the Bank on Sunday? I mean, I'm sure they could add it in. You could argue that there isn't a lot of steam behind it, but I don't think it's a feud that necessarily needs a lot. I think it gives them something to do. I know some people might be upset that Balor's leaving NXT or anything like that. Frankly, you look at it and you say, one, he was probably in that brand way longer than they originally thought he was going to be in the first place. I think the idea was for Finn Balor to be back in NXT for maybe a year. Obviously, COVID changed that, and that extended it a lot. And because of that, and injuries as well, etc., because of that, because of Karrion Kross going down with an injury, etc., because of the feud with Walter being postponed and cancelled eventually because of the pandemic, plans changed, because they do in WWE. Plans changed, and ultimately, he won the NXT Championship. He stayed on the brand a little bit longer. I think the intention was for him to be on the NXT brand for about a year, freshen up his character, give NXT a helping hand as they were launching on the USA Network, and plans changed and he was there for a bit longer. Ultimately, we've seen at this point WWE, especially right now with Nick Khan, are desperate to get their money's worth. Finn Balor he's almost been a genius, contractually over the course of the last 2 years. Finn Balor's been on main roster money. Finn Balor's been on a big contract, a big main roster contract, and with his main roster contract, with his main roster money, he's been on a light schedule. He's been with the NXT brand. He's been doing whatever he wants to do on NXT, and he's been living his best life. So he's been doing a great job, and during that time, he's been the NXT champion. I wouldn't say reinvented himself, but he's certainly refreshed his character, given a new coat of paint to his gimmick, and now he comes back to SmackDown and he feels fresh. He feels new, he feels different. And tonight was an example by WWE and the reports we've seen recently, whether it's Fightful, PW Torch, PW Insider, whatever, all of these, the Wrestling Observer newsletter, all of these reports are coming out saying that it's all hands on deck right now. With live crowds returning, WWE realizes we need to bring back every big name we can. Now, some people might look at that and say, well, Finn Balor isn't, a big name like Brock Lesnar or John Cena or that. Well, and no, but they've realized that the rosters we have are bare. We have to sell tickets. We have to improve the ratings because the ratings haven't been great for Raw and SmackDown. And we need to do something different. Now, overall, was this show tonight entirely different? Probably not. If you took the crowd away, it's not massively different to what they were doing at the Performance Center or the Thunderdome. Nevertheless, I thought the show was very good. The crowd were very happy to see Finn Balor back, as I'm sure everyone at home was when Finn Balor came out, and he's going to be an asset. He's going to be a massive asset to to SmackDown. And look, SmackDown's in need of top baby faces. The WWE roster, just in general, to be honest, is in need of top baby faces to challenge for those world championships. Now, one concern could be, if you're a top babyface on SmackDown, it's a matter of time before you get fed to Roman Reigns to beat, because Reigns isn't dropping the championship anytime soon. He's not losing to Edge at Money in the Bank on Sunday. He's not losing to John Cena at SummerSlam. And I think Finn Balor versus Roman Reigns would be an excellent feud and an excellent storyline for Reigns post SummerSlam. We know that the draft has been pushed back a little bit. It's going to be taking place in October as opposed to August and September, which was originally the plan. So because of that, again, you could argue that a feud in September as we're heading into the fall between Roman Reigns and Finn Balor over the Universal Championship, that's a money feud. Again, Finn Balor isn't going to win. He's not going to become the Universal Champion, I don't think. But the story there is that Balor was the first ever Universal Champion, had to vacate it 24 hours afterwards. Eventually, he did get his Universal Championship rematch. Ironically, he got it against the likes of Roman Reigns. I think it was the night after SummerSlam, wasn't it, in 2018. He also got a match against Brock Lesnar at the Royal Rumble in 2019. Nevertheless, Finn Balor, a refreshed, a reinvigorated, a different Finn Balor against Roman Reigns. I think as we head into the second half of the year, I think that's exciting. I think that's different. So, yeah, very good news to have Finn Balor back. Again, looks like he's going to be engaged in a feud with Sami Zayn. As far as recording right now, I mean, this might change between now and Sunday night, but as far as recording right now, there doesn't appear to be a match put in place for Balor versus Zayn at Money in the Bank. As far as, is this something Finn Balor wants? We don't know. We've heard reports again from the likes of WrestleVotes, Fightful Select, etc. over the course of really the last month or so, saying that there have been numerous pitches for Finn Balor to come back to the main roster. By all accounts, the Raw creative team really wanted him on several occasions, and ultimately the decision's been made to bring him back to SmackDown. He was a SmackDown talent when he left previously, but not that means anything right now. But again, when I look at Finn Balor in NXT, I would say there wasn't a lot left for him to do after he dropped the NXT Championship to Karrion Kross, after he put him over a couple of times. Yeah, I mean, he can go after the likes of the North American Championship and the Tag Team Championship, but again, WWE at this point in time where they're trying to reduce their overheads and they're releasing talents because they're on too big a contracts. We saw them, release the likes of Braun Strowman because they thought he was on too big of a contract. There is no way that Nick Khan, when he hasn't been looking at these numbers going, wait a minute, that Finn Balor guy's on a big contract and he's in NXT. Why? Get him on the main roster. Get him on SmackDown. Get him on a brand that pays us a lot of money. Get us on a brand where we need to sell tickets for the big arenas. Get Finn Balor back on the main roster. So I don't know if that's a fact, but I would, looking at it, logically, you would say that makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense to me. Again, I don't know if that's really the reality of that one, but there are certainly matches and there are certainly storylines on SmackDown that interest me. Whether it's Finn Balor again versus Sami Zayn, I don't think that's going to be a very long feud. I don't think we're going to be seeing, say, Finn Balor versus Sami Zayn at SummerSlam or anything like that. I think Finn Balor versus Roman Reigns is the one, but also Finn Balor versus Seth Rollins. I like that one. Finn Balor versus Edge. There are exciting matches here that Finn Balor can do on SmackDown, and why is that so? Because he's been away for a while. I was having this conversation on Twitter earlier today that it just seems crazy to me that Finn Balor is such a great example of being able to send a talent to NXT, not as a demotion, but send a talent to NXT and be like, right, it's not that we don't have a lot for you right now, but you're worth quite a lot to us, and you can be worth so much more. And maybe your character has grown stale, or there's just no one for you to face off against right now, or you're spinning your wheels creatively. Go back to NXT for a year. Now, in Balor's case, it was nearly a couple of years, but that was because of the pandemic. Go back to NXT for 6 months, for a year. Just go away, learn a new hold, go to a different territory. Get away from the spotlight a little bit. Change your character. Have different feuds with different people. Just have some time out of the spotlight so when you come back, you're fresh. It's what they used to do in the territory systems back in the day. Go to a different territory, get out the spotlight, get over there, come back, you feel like a rock star. That's what it felt like with Finn Balor tonight. Triple H has said that he wants to do that so many times with talents, ever since NXT moved to the USA Network. In 2019, he said he wanted to do that. He wanted to move talents to NXT, get them over, try something different, help elevate the NXT brand, and then a year later, they can go back to Raw, they can go back to SmackDown, and they're over because they're fresh. And it just seems crazy that it's only the likes of, Finn Balor that they've done that with so far. You've got a territory system right there. Use it, because tonight's a great example of how it can work out in your benefit. But exciting to see Finn Balor back. Obviously, he's going to be facing Sami Zayn soon, and it's very exciting. But look, guys, as always, this is just one man's opinion. What are your thoughts on Finn Balor returning to SmackDown tonight? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I'll do my best to respond and reply to all of your comments. Really enjoy interacting with you guys, talking about WWE, AEW, Impact Wrestling, New Japan Pro Wrestling, all things pro wrestling here on the channel. So be sure to get involved in the community. Drop a comment below. All opinions are welcome. If you have enjoyed this video, please do smash a like on the like button too. Really does help us out here on YouTube. Go to the rankings and get into people's recommendation feeds if they haven't seen our videos previously. But most importantly, if you haven't already, please do subscribe to Wrestle News 365. You can do that by clicking the bottom right hand corner of the screen right now, or if you wait a few seconds, there'll be a subscribe button at the end of this video along with another video for you to watch. Thank you very much for watching, listening, streaming, or having come across this video today, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.